Before I get into the Electric album, I also wanted to talk about the picture I found from Loud Vision. Loud Vision is Jaden's second account. I know people uh, sort of question when people talk about it, but it is his second account. And I sort of was scrolling through it because obviously I wanted to find maybe there was something hidden in either his normal Instagram or his second account, and I found this picture, which I'll pull up. Um, and it says SYRE, but you can see SYRE's looking up at a helicopter. And I just want to quickly talk on that because I think the police were looking for SYRE and the people involved in the drive-by. So there's like helicopters flying over the hills, sort of like in search of him or any suspects in a way. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say on that. I thought maybe there's just a little nice piece in there, hidden away. And let's go straight into the Electric album. Okay, so I decided not to really write anything on the board because I'm just writing names of the songs, and I don't really need to go through them because the Electric album is honestly just remixes. He's just, switching up the 432 hertz or whatever, mixing around certain lyrics and creating new choruses. There was really nothing new in a majority of the songs, so I really want to jump straight to Icon Electric. Um, Obviously, if you listen to Icon Electric, it's like they're two different songs. I mean, Icon Electric is like 2 minutes longer than Icon or something like that. And basically, in that visualizer, quote unquote, no, yeah, it was a visualizer. Because the first half of the song, which is supposed to be technically the original Icon remixed, was that TV spinning around. But in the second part, where it's like that new verse, it's SYRE on top of the Tesla in the air, and it's actually him moving around, like, spitting every line. So that part technically is like partly a music video. But that song is basically SYRE back to normal in a way. I think that's his most normal form from like the peak of his amnesia, which was like when it was Wavy Baby transitioning to SYRE, was like his peak of the amnesia. But now in Icon Electric, which in my theory falls right after SYRE, is basically just him continuing to regain his memory. And at the end of that album, he's like at his most normal point, I would say. And he's standing on that Tesla and he's just spitting at the air, spitting, I mean by spitting bars. He's rapping, sort of like a music video kind of vibe, but the camera isn't really like following him around. He doesn't really look at the camera very often too either. But he's saying like, I'm not an icon, you are. And what you would get from that is like, oh, he's sort of humbling himself. He's saying, I'm not really an icon, it's you guys, because it's up to you guys to, save the world and make change. He's saying that it's not really up to him to, do this kind of stuff. But if you kind of twist his words, it might seem like he's talking to Iris's ghost in a way. And I'm saying Iris's ghost because I think Iris possesses him at the end of the Electric album. And I'll get into that. So when he says, I'm not an icon, you are, I think SYRE's telling Iris, like, you're the icon because, you were helping Los Angeles. Even though you did it through, not the greatest and purest methods, you were still, making it sustainable and people were, thriving there. And what did Wavy Baby / SYRE ever do? Cry in the hills, obsess over a girl. So he's basically saying, I'm not really the icon, it's you. And, there's lines like about saving the environment, about how the world's sort of like, we're going to run out of resources. I say these lines because I think SYRE knows Iris's intentions and knows what Iris is planning to do. I think he knows Iris wants to take control again. And the only way he can do that is by possessing SYRE, because he can't just like reanimate a new body, like him and SYRE may have powers of like flying and things like that. And, Iris has like this special resistance to vision, even though he OD'd on it. But he can't make a new body, so the only way he can take back control physically is by possessing SYRE. And it would make sense because, the whole alter ego thing, like, he can't just possess any random person. It has to be like something that's a part of him. So when he's saying, all this stuff about the environment and stuff. I feel like he's saying, if you possess me, I want you to save the environment because Los Angeles will crumble if you don't do that. Sure, IRYS is bringing money into the city, this and that, giving people jobs, but it's not going to last long if IRYS ignores the environment, especially in this post-apocalyptic world that Jaden said is the setting. So now he's giving him this advice, but also SYRE tries to attempt to ask for forgiveness from IRYS. That's why he's saying, you're the icon, not me. He's saying, like, I was in the wrong, you're actually doing good things. So I don't really know what SYRE's intentions were. I don't know if he was like looking for forgiveness. Another line before I get to the end of the song is him talking about, gang violence and how we should bring our gangs together and make a truce. I feel like that's another reference to IRYS. He's telling IRYS, like, when you come back, like, you need to stop your gang activity and like fighting these rival gangs and stuff, because it's not healthy, and it's just going to cause a lot of violence and war and death, and you're not going to make the world a better place if you're killing people, obviously, or if your gang's killing people. So he's saying, like, IRYS, if you come back, just try to make peace with people if that's what you really desire. If you desire to make LA thrive, then don't keep up with the gang wars and things like that. So, I mean, it could be interpreted that he's talking about the real world and how gang violence affects us every day in the real world. But I mean, like I've been saying, it could also touch on IRYS as the ghost. And I'm saying IRYS is the ghost because at the end there's that whole banter, IRYS is coming. I can't control him. Remember me. This is the real me. Those lines. And he's saying, remember the real me. This is the real me. Like, this is my voice, because IRYS literally possesses him. I know people might have thought, like, because the order of the albums is like Electric Album, and then IRYS is coming, and then IRYS. So it's sort of like Jaden tried putting the idea in our heads that, like, SYRE, like, the IRYS deep down in him sort of like came out or something. But like I said, I don't really believe in that theory. But like I've pointed out in the 90 music video, he's a physical ghost. So that's why I believe that there is possession involved. And IRYS obviously has the ability to, because he's supernatural as a human or as a ghost. So I do believe he starts to, possess IRYS. So SYRE's, crying out to the audience, like, remember me, this is the real me. Like, whoever takes control, that's not me, I'm not him. It's IRYS. IRYS is coming. So it's basically just like, and maybe deep down when he feels like IRYS starting to take control, he just knows things are not going to end well. That's why he's warning people. He's like, he's back, and I need you to know that it's not me who's doing this stuff in the end. So, yeah, I mean, basically the Electric Album ends with IRYS literally possessing SYRE. So that means SYRE's in control. IRYS is in control of SYRE's body. And what I'll explain in IRYS is Coming, the EP, he does not forgive SYRE whatsoever. So I will write a little things up on the board, and I'll get into that. Okay, now we're finally at the last part of the video, or at least music-wise. So now we're covering the IRYS is Coming EP, or I guess I would like to call it IRYS has been here already. He's been out here, and you guys didn't even know it. I mean, this is a 3-song EP. I don't really have screenshots of the lyrics because it's just typical IRYS stuff, and there's some things that I'll point out in my explanation that I don't really need to throw up lyrics for. It is a 3-song EP, so if you do want that confirmation on the lyrics, you could search it up and listen. I mean, that EP is pretty fire, so you should go check it out for sure. But basically, when IRYS possesses SYRE, it's very apparent that he does not forgive SYRE whatsoever for what he did. Even though IRYS does have this soft spot, and he does embody anger, he showed an opportunity to have forgiveness. SYRE seemed genuinely sorry, but I think from what happened, there's no way Iris could have forgiven him. I mean, he killed him over a girl. I mean, that's kind of awkward. Killed him over Lucy, you know? And Iris knows his history with Wavy Baby, who I'm technically saying is SYRE. I mean, I've been saying that, you know? He knows that he's had issues with him in the past, like when he went to the hills and where Iris went to the hills and he got beat up. And, you know, Wavy Baby tried, you know, serenading back Lucy. So he already has a negative history with SYRE. So it makes sense that Iris had no room for forgiveness. So basically, in the songs, I have him bullet pointed. He sounds angrier. He's way more violent. And he's just focused on dealing the vision. He wants to focus on his gang. He wants to focus on, you know, spreading it around the world. I say angrier because, I mean, the lyrics, not one of those songs is sad. He's just, you know, he's just talking about, like, hard stuff and, like, you know, he's mad and he's gonna, like, do this stuff to people and he wants to get things done. I mean, nothing about that EP was nice. Iris is serious here. I would say more violent because there's some lyrics where, like, they're yelling at me, telling me to let him live, and, you know, blood falling from his fingertips. I mean, you know, Iris wasn't very violent in the IRYS album, but in this EP, he's, like, really hands-on with, like, what he's doing. He's, like, doing the total opposite of what SYRE told him not to do. SYRE was like, hey, when you come back, could you, like, be less violent and, like, make peace with other gangs and stuff? But IRYS just, like, totally goes off and, like, starts murdering people, and, like, people are literally begging him to let people live. I mean, I don't know what people he was saying were begging. Maybe it was his own gang. That's how violent he's become. You know, and the gang really treats him with a lot of respect at this point. I think in the IRYS album, he was sort of like this higher up. He wasn't really the leader. Obviously because of the dialogue from the beginning of the IRYS song where, like, that one guy was talking, sort of starting the mission, but it wasn't IRYS. But now that he's come back, he's definitely a leader because the whole gang was convinced he was dead. I mean, he was dead, but the fact that he resurrected and he's back and he's, like, angrier, it's like they all step back like, whoa, okay. We'll let you do your thing, man. Like, IRYS has so many supernatural abilities that, like, why would anyone get in his way? IRYS will do what he wants, and he has the rage and anger to, you know, kill anybody to achieve it. So the gang at this point is sort of just standing by and, like, following his orders and doing the thing. There's lines like gold throne. I guess maybe they built him a throne. He considers himself a king or like a god. Rose gold, I'll say, which is pink. It's a pinkish gold, which makes sense because IRYS likes pink. And like I've been saying, like, he sounds so angry in this EP. He has no room for love. Lucy's still alive. I don't think she dies, or at least at this point in time. So he obviously doesn't care about Lucy. He doesn't care about falling in love. Like, love is not a priority on his hands. And he's just focused on, like I said, dealing the vision. There's lines saying that he wants to move it to other states. He's, you know, going around the world, getting it across the border. I mean, this dude, he was making a lot of money when he was selling it in LA, but if he's expanding to other states and across the border, I mean, he was going to be raking in money, and LA is going to become like a superpower, especially SYRE. If he gets all this money, he'll have, like, all these, you know, equipment, like, you know, hire more people to be on his gang. I mean, IRYS is back, and when I go to the conclusion of my video, when I wrap everything up, I will talk on his return, which has been hinted at already, but how I've already know he's been alive and he's already going at it. So that basically covers the EP. 3 songs really quick. We just know IRYS is back and he's not messing around. So let's just wrap up this video. Okay, so how I want to start this conclusion is talking about the 2 most recent, like, Lot of Vision posts that Jaden posted. I did take screenshots, so they'll be thrown up. Basically, he's saying IRYS is clawing at my heart and you can't control him, you know? And it's a picture of IRYS and, you know, skin and bones. He's talking about how his figure was at that and during that era. And I mean, it basically suggests that IRYS is coming back. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. And I want to point out that if you've been reading my theories and keeping up with them, um, you know I've been saying IRYS is going to come back, and he's gonna, I didn't exactly know what he was gonna do. I just knew he was coming back for sure. I knew that IRYS's story wasn't just gonna end with him dying. There's no way. Um, so I mean, I've been hinting at it for months, and then those Lot of Vision posts just kind of confirmed it in a way. So props to me, I guess. I mean, each time a picture comes out, or like, an interview, or like a new album, it's just like nothing is affecting my theory. I feel like each thing that comes out makes it stronger. And each day I go through the lyrics or something, or reread lyrics or listen to a song again, I feel like I'm learning something new that makes it even more stronger. Like that whole Rory thing, I had no idea about. You don't see me talking about him in my written theories on the subreddit. Which this whole Rory thing is exclusive to you guys if you're watching it on YouTube. I mean, I just learned that like a week ago. I mean, it's so crazy. And, to think back in February when I stumbled across r/Jaden, and I was like, yeah, maybe I could just throw my ideas on there. And to think, now it's like October 3rd today. In October, people are asking like, yeah, we really want to see a video of you explaining the theory. So I feel like it's so crazy to me that like in February, I just wanted to express my thoughts on the theory, on the timeline, and for it to grow and, gain so much attention and support to the point where you guys desire a video. It's so crazy to me. So thank you guys. You guys are so awesome. This isn't the end of me, It sounds kind of dark, but I mean, obviously I'm still going to be on the subreddit, posting stuff, new music's going to come out. I'm going to make written theories on there. I only wanted to make this video so it's convenient for you guys to, see all the music explained. I don't think I'm going to make another YouTube video unless you want it. I don't know. So new music's definitely going to come out. I'm definitely going to, make a theory on it, or I'm going to ask questions on random stuff, or ask something to be made a wallpaper. I don't know. Vision Racer stuff. So, I just wanted to thank you guys for the whole journey, I guess. All the friends I've made, all the discussions I've had. Even if you left like a nice comment on one of my theories, I mean, that really meant a lot, because I never really thought like me just spilling my thoughts on like a album could gain so much support and love. So it really just goes to show that our subreddit's really a special place, and you guys mean a lot, and if you're on YouTube and you hear me spilling my heart out about the subreddit, I mean, go check it out. You're here probably because you listen to Jaden. So if you like his music, if you want to have discussions on random stuff, information about him, go check it out. I'm definitely there. And like I said in the beginning, if you have questions on this video, if I wasn't clear about something, I know I definitely mispronounced things or stumbled on my words. I've said obviously or like 2 million times. So if things aren't clear to you, or you have this piece of evidence that I didn't mention, or if you have something new that I had no idea about, definitely direct message me on Reddit, or maybe leave it under the post that I make on the Reddit. I definitely wouldn't recommend YouTube, and I would advise don't subscribe to my channel, because I don't think I'm going to be consistently uploading on this. Don't leave comments on this video either, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to see them very quickly. I don't really know how this stuff works. I don't know if like I get notifications. So I would highly recommend contacting me on direct message on Reddit. But if you're Jaden and you see this and you're like, wow, Oreo figured this out, he's so cool, then you can comment on YouTube. And then I'll get like 10 million views, and people are gonna be like, I love this guy so much, and then I'll be a celebrity. I don't know. I think that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sitting through all this. I know it was a lot, but if you're confused on the first listen, you can always go back to this. Take your time. Thank you for watching, and see you guys when I post this.